Yo, yo, yo. Hey everyone, it's your boy Shock back at it. Brand new video. I don't know, what is this, 1 month later, maybe more. Can't be consistent, but all you can do is try. Let's just jump into this. So, if you've been keeping it up with like gaming news or whatever, you would know that Kanye West, Ye, he just announced that, he just mentioned The Last of Us 2. And in The Last of Us 2, he said, and I quote, "The Last of Us 2 is the greatest game of all time." Yes, Kanye West. Kanye West said this. The Kanye West said, "The Last of Us 2 is the greatest game ever made." Now, obviously, I disagree with this. If you know me, I don't know if I talked about it on this channel before, but you will know that I really hate this game. Like, it's horrible in my opinion, the story at least. But yeah, it's this is weird to me because Kanye can have his own opinion. His opinion is his opinion. If anyone says they like the game, they like the game. That's how I am as a person. I like a lot of bad things, or I like a lot of things that other people think are bad. I like a lot of bad games, bad movies, bad TV shows, bad comics, bad books, whatever. Bad anime. I like it. I like a lot of it. Because I don't follow the grain. I don't follow the road. Just because someone else thinks something is bad doesn't mean I'll think it's bad. A lot of people do that. A lot of people willingly wait to see someone else's opinion before making their own. And that's just not me. If I'm outspoken about something, I'm going to be outspoken about it. That's how I roll. That's how I always roll. I don't hold back. Everything I watch, read, play, I am very critical. It's just how it is, how I am. But yeah, Kanye West, he can have his opinion. If he thinks it's the best. Personally, I think Red Dead Redemption 2 is the best game of all time, but that's beside the point. But what's really funny is this isn't about Kanye. This is about the things that surround this game. Guess what? 5 years later, if you haven't noticed, The Last of Us 2 released 2020. That's just wild to me. It's 5 years since that happened. But it's kind of ridiculous that I just wanted to put this out there that you can't really criticize this game without everything falling on you. If you go in the comment section about this game, you're gonna have people all over you writing 500 paragraph essays, writing ridiculous, paragraphs of nonsense, or just type. It's kind of ridiculous, and it makes me think, is this natural? Is this real? Because you see other games. There's a lot of people that don't like Red Dead Redemption 2, I'm sure. You go in there, someone criticizes, you don't see that. You don't see that response. You don't see that response for Doom or, Gears of War, Halo, Horizon, God of War, Spider-Man, maybe. You don't see that response. But with Last of Us 2, and Spider-Man 2 as well, actually. But The Last of Us 2, especially, you see a response that doesn't feel real. It feels AstroTurf. It feels like every time I talk about this subject, every time I talk about this game or things surrounding this game, there's 500 people. I make a comment on YouTube, there's 500 replies on it. Why? When I talk about Red Dead Redemption, I might get 3. When I go on Reddit and I scroll down, I don't see that amount of comments or disagreement or things on those games. Why? Because those games aren't divisive. Those games didn't anger a big percentage of people. Those games didn't willingly anger a big percentage of people. What people got to understand is The Last of Us 2 didn't just release in the state it released in by accident. It was willingly done on purpose. It was done. You can go to the interviews. You can go to Neil Druckmann. Druckmann said, "I'd rather have a game that angers people," or something similar. He said, "I'd rather have a game that angers people than a game that makes people forget about it," or something like that. And I kind of agree with him, because I actually, if I was a creator, I'd rather make something that angers people than, make a okay game and, people forget about it in a month. I agree with him on that. Anger or hatred, in my eyes, is not always, but when it comes to creative, at least, is better than the middle. It's better than okay or whatever, because at least you'll be remembered. Notice how we're still talking about The Last of Us 2 5 years later. We're not talking about, I don't know, a mid game that came out in 2020. But for example, we're not even talking about Spider-Man 2 anymore. You notice that? A lot of people just forgot about it. Why? Because in my opinion, it's a mid game. It's nothing there. There's no substance. But anyways, let's just continue. That The Last of Us 2, like I said, it was made like that on purpose. It was made deconstructive. It was made to be decisive. It was made to deconstruct these characters from the first game. It was made to be a movie game. Literally. It's an HBO TV show in a game. That's exactly what it is, which is why HBO picked the game up to make a series on. But you already know, man, it's like this. It's just AstroTurf to me. It doesn't feel real. It doesn't. Every time I talk about this game, it feels like I'm talking to a writer of the game. It feels like I'm talking to Neil Druckmann. It feels like I'm talking to bots. And that's why I believe the dead internet theory is 100% real. No one can convince me otherwise. If you don't know what the dead internet theory, it's a theory that the internet is majority bots. It's majority AstroTurf. You're not talking to real people. You're talking to bots. You're talking to scammers. You're talking to big company employers. You're talking to that. You're not talking to real people. And that's how I feel about this. Because every time, if I mention you can't even mention one slight criticism of this game. If you even get upset about the fact that a main character died, I'm gonna say it, Joel. If you get upset about his death, you'll have people come after you. Oh, your daddy Joel died. Boo hoo. Huh? Did we not play the first game? What are you talking about? Of course I'm mad. Of course I'm gonna be mad about that. Who wouldn't be mad about a character that we grew to love over the last 10 years? We grew to love him. The second game comes out, and he dies a very underwhelming death. You can say this is realistic or whatever, but it's underwhelming. I don't care if it's realistic. It's shock value to me. It's no different than, I don't know, it's just shock value. It feels disrespectful. But that's not even my main complaint about the game. I expected Joel to die in this game. I didn't care really about that. What I really cared, what really angered me about this game was the pacing, the perspective shifts, the just dragging everything out. Everything felt dragged out. You had a whole section with Ellie, then you had an Abby section. You had this, and then you had that. It felt so dragged out that I just wanted to stop playing. It felt like a torture porn, dragged out, ugly, dark, depressing experience. Why would I want to play that? Why would I want to play as a character that I hate in a game for half the game's runtime? That's like watching a TV show and you have one character that's liked and you have another character that's hated, and the character that's hated gets as much screen time as the character that's liked. And not hated in a good way, hated in a bad way. I don't care for this Abby character. I never did. When she killed Joel, I just sat there, and that's how I know something's bad, because when she killed Joel, I sat there with my eyes just wide open. I didn't feel anything. I didn't care, because it was like, okay, it just happened. Wow. That's how I felt. That's how I felt because it was just so underwhelming. It was just ridiculous. But if you criticize it though, you'll have 100 bots flowing in your comment sections. I bet I'll have 100 coming now. Look, I should have said this at the beginning. If you disagree, you can dislike. You can get out of here. I don't care. You'll be blocked or whatever. Well, I don't block people, but I'll just comment and ridicule you because I don't care. This is my opinion, like I said in the beginning. But it just feels like, very linear. Feels like we were forced into actions that we didn't care about. It feels, just bleak, depressing. It dragged Abby. Like, I don't care about Abby at all. I don't care about this chick. I didn't care about anything about her. Anything to do with her. Like, she was a horrible antagonist in my opinion. Very generic, very bland, boring look, boring voice acting, boring everything, just boring. Like, compare Joel or Ellie to her. It's not even close. She's just boring. I don't even hate her. She's just there. She's a random obstacle. I'm watching the Skypiea arc in One Piece right now. That's how I feel about the main villain, same as I do her. Just boring. Just a random filler obstacle. That's the way I see Abby. She's trash. Like, I mean, come on. And then you have people saying, oh, well, everyone I know, we all love the game. Okay, well, I could say the same thing. Everyone I know hates this game. I don't know anyone that likes this game personally. It's called bias. That's what it is, just bias. We're all biased in some ways. There's no way not to be biased. If you have an opinion on something, you're most likely going to be biased. Unless you're a robot. It's called bias. If our friends dislike something, there's a very high chance we'll dislike it as well. If our community dislikes something, there's a high chance we'll dislike it as well. That's why, for example, the elections. That's why the cities voted blue and the worlds voted red. Because there's a community bias. There's a specific type of bias that we have, that we follow the opinions of others that surround us. It's surrounding bias, community bias, anecdotal bias. It's those things. So I just hate that argument. You'll see, and I've gotten those arguments. That's a new one, really. Everyone I knew loved the game. Well, everyone I knew hated it or thought it was mid at best. Come on now. There's another argument. The argument that, oh, well, maybe you're just soft. Oh, okay. So was I soft during the first game? Was I soft during God of War? Was I soft during Red Dead Redemption 1 and 2? Was I soft during, all these other dark games? No. Just another bland, dumb argument. It's not real. You're not talking to real people. If you dislike this game, if you comment, just know you're not talking to real people. You're talking to bots. Like, that's who you're talking to. If you say you don't like the character development, for example, Joe's a retard in 2. He's an absolute retard. If you say you don't like that, you'll have 100 paragraphs going at you. If you saying that Abby didn't resonate with you, they'll call you a misogynist. They'll call you a sexist. If you say that you didn't like the fact that we played the entire game with no recourse or no finality, ends off on a horrible cliffhanger, waited 10 years for that. If you say that, they'll mock you or whatever. I mean, it's ridiculous. The things that come with the criticizing this game. It's not real. If you say you don't like the underdeveloped side characters, you'll be mocked. You'll be hated on in the comments. If you say that, I don't know, just so it's forced, you'll be mocked. You'll be hated on. If you say that the gameplay can get repetitive, which it does, even though it's great, you'll be mocked. I mean, it's just over. You can't dislike this game on the internet. You can't. Because people are weird. I am very convinced that Sony has brought bots, and every time this game comes up, they have workers to ASTROTURF this game. I'm very convinced. You cannot dislike this game. If you talk about the misleading trailers, if you talk about the fact that the trailers showed that Joel would be in the game more, which they did, they'll make up another excuse. Like, it's ridiculous, man. That's all I wanted to say, though. I mean, I don't think I'll ever like this game or come around to it. You know, what's funny is I kind of liked it at first. When I first, played it. But as time went on, it has no replayability. None whatsoever. Which tells me all I need to know. It's trash. I really don't like this game. Best way I can describe this game is 2 out of 10 story, 9 out of 10 graphics, 8.5 out of 10 gameplay. That's the best way I can describe this game. If you disagree with my opinion, I don't care. If you agree with my opinion, like, subscribe, share this video. I'm out.